What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the first ever Locked Door MMA show. I'm your host, Brevin. This is my co-host, JP. Say what's up.
Yes, sir. Let's do it, baby. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Just a little bit of a background of who we are and what we're trying to do. JP and I have been best friends ever since we were children. We've always had a love for the sport of UFC, talking about UFC, picking our favorite fighters, and even gambling as children on the UFC as well. Now that we're grown adults, we have developed that gambling addiction. However, it's fun. This is our passion. We love doing it, and we want to share that same energy and passion with you guys so that if you so choose to go out and use our information to gamble, feel free to do so. But this is not gambling advice. We just love the sport and we do want to give our predictions out to you guys as well. So, this card, UFC Saudi Arabia, we'll go ahead and dive into it without further ado. First fight on the card is Long Zhao and Chang Ho Lee. We have Long Zhao coming in as the current favorite at minus 115 as of today, and Chang Ho Lee sitting at minus 105. JP, I'll kick it over to you and hear your thoughts on how you think this fight's going to go.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Basically, both of them. I mean, Long is 0-1 in the Contender Series. Same thing with one FC. Lee, he's 1-0 in one FC, 3-0 in Top Fighting Championship. I don't know shit about Top Fighting Championship, but I kind of see them as both being the same type of fighter. I mean, one's on a 4-fight win streak, the other one's on a 3-fight win streak. So I mean, not much to really go off of here, but I think Lee, based off of the comp you can find on Tapology and stuff, I think Lee's kind of got the upper hand on that. But as far as the finish goes, I don't know. I'm personally going to pick Lee by KO or decision. Probably not going to put any money down on this fight because, like you said, 115, 105. I mean, it's pick 'em, even money. So
Yeah,
it's toss up.
100%. 100%. I think you kind of nailed it right on the head. They're both very similar fighters. Not a whole lot to be excited about. I mean, this is why this fight's the first fight on the card. Probably won't put any money on this fight, but for the sake of picking a fighter, I think Chang Ho Lee has the more potential. He
Mm-hmm.
does have some finishes to his name. I think he has some stopping power as well in his hands, which is always a plus, right? Whereas you look at Long Zhao, he has a lot of decision victories, a lot of submissions.
Shit ton
Not
of decision victories, bro.
a lot of decision victories, which I think if he goes out with that same mentality and style into this fight, Chang Ho Lee will be able to land the bigger strikes, land more power, and potentially put him out. And then if it does go to decision with their skill set, I still think Chang Ho Lee has the upper hand in that category as well. So, like we said, I
100%.
probably won't put any money on it, but um, Chang Ho Lee is my pick as well. All right,
I mean,
next.
just a 3-0 in the TFC, and what Long's 0-1. Same thing with Contender Series, and then the 9-1 and 26-8. I mean, it's hard to pick against Lee, bro. Just doesn't make sense.
For sure. For sure. All right. Next fight on the card Cedricus Dumas versus Dennis Tialuin. JP, what are your
Sub
thoughts on this
fight,
one?
sub fight. Um, I like Dumas better than Abu, who was originally supposed to fight Tululian. Still think Tululian's ass. Don't think it's close. I think Dumas is gonna work him. I mean, Tululian's 11-9. If you're gonna look at a guy and say 11-9 in the UFC, my money's on him. Your cheeks, brother. I don't know what you're doing. Okay. Dumas way better. Tululian's also on a 3-fight losing streak right now, and then they give him Dumas, who's 9-2, who's a killer. I mean, I think Dumas finishes anyway. I mean, if you want to put money on this fight, for sure, fight doesn't go the distance. Fight gets stopped under 2.5, something like that. You could bet on Dumas by KO. I don't know. Tululian, what is he in? Where's he at? Where's he at? 9-3 with KOs in his career. I would just bet on fight to not go the distance, but I'm going Dumas 100%.
Yeah, Llewellyn hasn't done a whole lot in the UFC. I mean, he's 1-4, I believe,
Yep.
inside just the UFC alone. So really nothing to be excited about. And like you had said previously, Abu was his original opponent, and I was picking Abu to win that fight. And I think
Yeah.
Cedricus Dumas is more skilled than Abu. So therefore, with Dumas's range, which I like a lot, he has the length in his jab and his strikes to sit there and pick apart to Llewellyn. I just don't see Dennis being able to do anything to Cedricus, and therefore Cedricus is also my pick. I agree with you on that one. But like we said,
Mhm.
nothing too crazy too exciting about that fight. But we could see a big Dumas knockout. I think coming off that knockout loss that Dumas had in his last fight, he's gonna come out looking for some blood, looking for a big
Mhm.
stoppage, maybe a highlight reel knockout. So keep an eye out for that as well.
Brother, another thing about Abu, who was gonna fight Talulian, is Dumas beat Abu.
Yep.
So again, we're picking Abu, which I get it's MMA math, so that doesn't always work out. But Dumas beat Abu. We're picking Abu to beat Talulian. I mean, it's I don't see Talulian winning this fight anyway.
Yep, I totally agree with you there on that one. All right. Next fight on this card. We have Brenson Robero. JP, I'll let you take away the pronunciation of this one.
Magomed Godziaslav.
Or Godzilla,
Close enough.
as we'll
Or
call him
Godzilla.
on this show. That's
That's what
not
we're
his
running
nickname,
with.
but that's the nickname we gave to him. It's Godzilla. All right, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I mean, Godzilla's a heavy favorite. I mean, dude's 8-0, so that's probably why. The other guy's 15-6, not terrible. He's coming off a loss. The other guy is 0-1, and it's Godzilla's UFC debut. So this is kind of what we've seen: Cheeks in the UFC versus a new guy who's undefeated. So it's kind of hard to bet on. A heavy favorite though for a reason. Ribeiro though does have an 81-inch reach to Godzilla's 75.5. So that's something to look at. But Ribeiro's 9-3 in KOs. I mean, granted, some of those guys might have been bigger than Godzilla, but I'm gonna pick Godzilla by probably decision because both of these guys, what he's got 3 wins by decision, the other guy's loss is by a decision. So I just and that decision loss was in the UFC, the one UFC fight that he did lose. So I mean, you got to pick Godzilla. The other guy, nothing stands out about him to stop the undefeated streak. I just don't think he's going to be the one to do it.
Yeah, Magomed. I'll start off with Magomed. Your typical Dagestanian wrestler base, which is always a very troubling thing to deal with as the opponent. So he will have solid ground control if the fight goes onto the ground. Magomed has a huge advantage down there against Brinson Robero. The one thing though, when I noticed or when I watched Magomed fight, is he backs up a lot on his feet and he will sit
Mm,
there and get into unneeded exchanges that he doesn't need to. So I think that it does open a little bit of a window for Ribeiro to potentially find a KO, find a big shot that kind of changes the fight drastically. But if Magomed can avoid that huge shot coming through, I think he's going to control him in all facets, be able to drag him down to the ground like you said, probably go to decision. Not sure if he's going to
mm.
stop Ribeiro, but it's either ground and pound to get him out of there, or going to decision there. So certainly something to keep an eye out for. All right, next fight we've got Muin Gafarov versus Kyung Ho Kang. What are your thoughts there?
What are my thoughts, brother? We're looking at the poop bowl here of this card. I mean, it's cheeks versus cheeks. Which one do you want, right or left? I mean, this is one I'm for sure not putting any money down. I'm for sure getting up, getting a drink, going to the restroom. That's what I'm doing. As far as who I picked, I mean, it's a toss up. Flip a coin. The one guy's 19-10, other guy's 18-6. I mean, I'll go for Muin Gavarov probably, but this is one where I'm just both of them are cheeks. Gavarov is coming off a 2 fight loss. Kang's got one. I mean, minus 125 plus 105. So pick them. It's cheeks, man. Everything about it's cheeks.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. The one thing that I wrote down in my notes about this fight is wouldn't bet it. So I totally agree. Get up, go to the bathroom, go get a drink. This isn't something that you want to sit there and sweat from a betting perspective. And I overall think it's going to be a fairly
Yep.
boring fight. JP, one thing I gotta say is, would you take a razor and shave the patch of hair on Muin's back, brother? Would you go shave that
Oh
off
my
for him?
god. Oh my god, brother. You need some high duty clippers for that shit, dog. I mean, it's and like you said, probably going to decision. 5-7 in decisions for Kang, and then Muin is 1-5 in decisions. I mean, cheeks versus cheeks, man. It's
Yep.
terrible.
Muin will go for takedowns. He has a wrestling base. He loves to get in there and get in the clinch and then go get those takedowns. The one thing that he is very susceptible to is guillotines. The one thing to potentially look out for is Kyung Ho Kang's guillotine. Kyung Ho Kang does not have a guillotine win on his record. However, he does have other submission wins. He does have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. So therefore, I do think that that is potentially a thing to look out for against a guy that went out and gets against who was it, Saeed Nurmagomedov, and got
Yeah,
guillotined within the first 10 seconds of that fight.
yeah,
So like we said,
100%.
stay away from it. But my pick, Muin Gafurov. All right. Next fight, we've
Yeah.
got the little rat Renat Fakhretdinov. Blah 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 enough.
That is right.
Fakhretdinov versus Nicholas Dalby. Who you got for this fight?
I don't think it's close, man. I really don't. I mean, I know Dalby's record kind of looks impressive. Uh, Renat is just a killer. I've seen Renat fight multiple times, which, I mean, granted, to Dalby's credit, they're both on a 4-fight win streak. I mean, Renat's last fight, he draw. Who was the draw against? Elizu Zaleski. I mean, that's not terrible to draw with. A draw's a draw. Always going to look bad, but Zaleski's good competition. I just think Renat's too good, man. From what we've seen, he's hard to stop. 22-2. I mean, he's 11-0 in KOs, 7-0 in subs. The only way he loses is if it's going to decision. So he's not getting finished. We're not worried about Dalby finishing him, in my personal opinion. And then Dalby's 12-4 in decisions. So when you got a record like 23-4 and you're 12-4 alone with decisions, I mean, I think this fight's going long. I think Renat's better. I think Renat's taking it by decision.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Renat has that strong wrestling base as well. He's going to be able to control him on the ground, which is something to always keep an eye out for, especially against a guy like Dalby who isn't impressive on the feet. He's not impressive on the ground. And like you had said, 12 wins came via decision. However, if this fight goes to decision, I definitely think Renat's going to be the one to come out on top. So that's certainly something that I would may actually put some money on is Renat by decision, given the fact that he is such a heavy favorite there. But we'll have to
100%.
see how it plays out there.
100%. If that's anywhere in plus money, I'm sprinkling that for sure. Plus 120, plus 180. I feel like it's going to be. I'm sprinkling that 100%.
Yeah, I know. And I had down here that Renat's wrestling ability will negate the pressure of Dalby. Dalby does do a nice job of coming forward and applying that pressure. However, I think
Mhm.
once he's on the ground, really there's not going to be any you know, coming back from that, getting back up to his feet, submission, attack.
Yeah.
There's just really nothing there. So I think Renat's going to get the better of him for sure. All
And the
right.
one thing we have not mentioned yet for this card, bro, is the OVEV curse. Okay, the OVEV, not curse per se, but the rule. Okay, anytime somebody's fighting an OV or an EV, at the end of that name, constant pressure, constant wrestling. They're in your face, sniffing nuts the whole time, brother. Some people cannot deal with that. Dalby's getting worked. Dalby's getting worked.
Do agree with that. All right. Next fight we have Nasrat Akparas versus Jared Gordon. What's your breakdown of this fight?
I mean, Kelvin Gastelum Jr., Kelvin Gastelum's little brother, Nasrat Hakparast, they look exactly the same. I mean, his long lost brother. Holy cow, man. Um, Personally, the most recent fight I remember of Jared Gordon is the Paddy Pimblett fight, which was what, a year and 6 months ago. So, I mean, him in that fight, he looked okay. Paddy Pimblett's decent up and comer. He fought like crap that time. Nasrat, I've watched fight a bunch. He's on a 3-fight win streak. I don't know, man. I want to pick Nasrat, but sometimes on the feet, I feel like his decision making is not very clear. He'll stand in the pocket on center line a little too much. He won't pop in and out, in and out. I feel like he's good with his pressure. His clinch game is disgusting. If he can keep it on the feet, Jared Gordon's obviously going to try and wrestle him, take him down, stuff like that, because he wanted to hang with Paddy Pimblett. But I want to go Nasrat. I think it's close, but I don't know. I think Nasrat's fought better competition, that's for sure. Jared Gordon's only noticeable standout was Paddy Pimblett, so I'll go Nasrat. As far as the finish, I don't know, man. I'd probably just money nine Nasrat. He's right now sitting at what, minus 250. It's not pretty, but throw parlay piece. I'm going Nasrat.
Yeah, 100%. It's not pretty, but a win's a win in our book. Nasrat, the thing that stands out about him is he does have a very powerful, good overhand left. That's watching his fights, it seems to find its home quite a bit. And I think that in this fight, Jared Gordon, he will stand in the pocket with Nasrat. And I do believe that left hand comes over the top and find its home. I definitely think that Nasrat can get a KO here. KO TKO would be my prediction in this fight. Jared Gordon, I mean, he's getting old. His last fight against Mark Madsen, I believe it was boring. Mark Madsen certainly didn't do anything impressive in that fight and then just stood there in the clinch with him and ate punches. I don't think Nasrat's that fighter. I think Nasrat's going to be able to outstrike him on the feet and then ultimately get the finish against Jared Gordon. I'm gonna go Nasrat KO TKO. All right.
That'll
All right.
probably be a nasty prop to search for right there for two.
100%. 100%. All right, next fight on this card. We are now entering the main card here. Shara Magomedov versus Joyton Lutterbach. What are your thoughts?
Baby food, brother. It's baby food all the way. Okay, I forgot who Char was supposed to fight. Somebody else. Somebody pulled out or whatever. This Joyton Luderbach guy's been on the regional scene. He's been okay. He's good. I mean, 38-10. Yeah, he's got a lot of experience. But Margomedov, Ovi, is disgusting. He's a straight killer. All right, dude's got what is that? His fake eye or something? Are you kidding me? Johnson ain't seen that on the regional scene, brother. He's getting clipped. He's getting subbed. However it is, he's getting finished. It's baby food. It's not close. Shara is the boy.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And I misspoke. This is actually our last fight on the prelim. It's not on the main card yet. But it
Is it
does.
really?
Yeah, no, it's the last fight on the prelims there, which does leave us with an absolute banger of a fight, at least from Shara's side. I think Joyton Lutterbach, first fight in the UFC, he's getting a chance at coming into the UFC and fighting. And he drew a terrible matchup and opponent, which props to Lutterbach. I mean, this fight was
Oh,
going to fall
100%.
through. Shara's opponent, pulled out. So they need to keep Shara on this card. He's certainly someone that people want to watch fight. He's exciting. He's explosive. He will attack from any position. If you go back and watch his last fight, he was on his back, outstriking his opponent, throwing elbows, kicking from the ground to the head. I mean, I would encourage you guys to go watch that fight. This guy nonstop kicks and attacks. He is an absolute killer. He yeah, like JP said, he lost his eye. He only has one eye. He's the one-eyed assassin. The
Oh my
bull.
goodness, brother. I ain't fighting that guy. Are you kidding me? Walks in the cage with one eye? Hell no.
he may be the scariest looking man in the UFC right now. So, certainly riding with the Shar Magomedov pick. I do believe that he's going to go out and get a KO TKO in this fight as well. Where Joyton Lutterbach, I believe the lights are going to be a little bit too bright. He's going to want to come out and do something cool. A lot of people are going to talk about, oh, he performed so well against Driscus way back in the day. Driscus Duplessis was young. He was unpolished. He was still coming into his own. Joyton Lutterbach has been around. I mean, his record is 38-10. He's fought so many guys. And for this to be his first ever UFC fight, I'm not impressed. It's just kind of mediocre. His stand up ability is mediocre. Everything else about his game's mediocre, and I think Shara's going to expose him on Saturday night. So super excited for that fight. Shara by KO TKO. All right, next fight. Now entering the main card, we have Johnny Walker versus Volkan Ozdemir. Who do you got in this fight?
I kind of popped back and forth for a little bit, but I mean, I think Johnny, he's big. What is he, 6'6" compared to 6'2"? I mean, that's going to be hard to deal with. Johnny Walker, I mean, when the guy's crazy enough to celebrate after a win to dislocate his own shoulder, I mean, that's hard to deal with when he's throwing at you, brother. Vulcan, he's got hands. He's slow. He's got power, but he's slow. He can't really move. He's standing in front of you. He's shelling up and then uncorking some. So I think Johnny Walker's awkwardness on the feet, his power, just the unorthodox style he's got all around. I'm picking Walker, brother. As far as a KO, I'll probably prop bet a KO here, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's boring and it goes to decision and Johnny Walker just wins off of Volkan not being able to do anything. I think Volkan, if he's smart, will try and push him against the fence, try and clinch with him, stuff like that, but we've never seen. Every time I've seen Volkan grapple, he's on his back, he's on his ass. So I don't think he'll have the ability to put Johnny Walker on his back at all in the fight, and I think that's what he would need to do to win it. I'm going Walker by KO.
Yeah, Vulcan's been around, man. He has some big names that he's fought in the past. I mean, Daniel Cormier, Dominic Reyes, Anthony Lionheart Smith. Like he does have a lot of experience. Ovin St. Preux. I mean, the list goes on and on. He's been around. He understands the sport. He throws a nice little calf kick. I think he adapts well to like the current strategies, if you will, on the feet to defeat his opponent. I think that he's going to be able to land those calf kicks and give Johnny Walker some problems there on the feet. However, to your point, Johnny Walker is much bigger, much stronger, much more explosive, and Vulcan's really just coming into like the end of his career. 34 years old. I know Johnny Walker's not too far behind him, but at 6'2", with this much experience, I just think Johnny Walker is going to be a little bit too much, land the bigger shots. If it's not Johnny Walker by KO, TKO, I think it's Johnny Walker by decision. And also another thing to take note of is Johnny Walker needs this comeback win. I mean, he's coming off of a loss against Ankalaev, who they fought 2 times, and that's pretty much taken up, the past 6 months, 7 months for Johnny Walker, just focusing on this Ankalaev opponent, right? And to go out and then lose with that nasty uppercut, that got caught. He got caught, and that's that. I
Mm.
think he comes out and puts on a show against Volkan to really kind of assert himself back into the mix as one of these top guys in this division, someone that's really fun to watch. I got Johnny Walker to win this fight as well. All right. Next fight, we do have Muhammad Naimov versus Melsik Bagdasaryan. What are your thoughts on this one?
This one's tricky, man. This one's real tricky. Both of them are pretty decent. Bogdasarian, I had to look up a lot more stuff about Bogdasarian because I didn't have much to go off with him, but Naimov's on a 5-fight win streak. Bogdasarian was on a 3-fight until he lost, and then he beat his most recent opponent. But I mean, they're both good, both 5-0 at KOs. Bogdasarian is 0-2 in subs, so those his only two losses have come by sub, and Namov's 3-0 by sub. So that's something to look at. Namov's 3-0 in the UFC. I mean, Bogdasarian's 3-1 in the UFC. Nemov beat Malarkey and Nathaniel Wood, which Malarkey's okay. The Nathaniel Wood win, I do like.
Yep.
I think Nathaniel Wood's got some promise to him, but I kind of want to go Nemov by submission here. I'm not sure which round. I don't really think Bogdasarian has shown me enough, at least with the talent that he's fought. I mean, he lost to Kulabau in the UFC, which Kulabau's cheeks in my book, man. So I would say the reach is identical, the height's identical. I think it's gonna come down to Nemov being smart, taking him to the ground. Dude's lost twice by sub. Let's sub him up. I'm going Nemov by sub.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting prop pick there. I like it. I think Naimov, he is going to be able to hold his own on the feet, which is really, in my book, Bagdasarian's only opportunity to win. If this fight goes to the ground, Naimov definitely has the advantage there. Sub is definitely a possibility. He also has a couple of wins by ground and pound. Once he has you down there, he will control you and will dominate you. So, certainly will be on the lookout for a possible ground and pound finish in this fight as well as the submission. I don't think it necessarily goes to decision. I think Naimov in this matchup has the advantage to possibly get him out of there fairly early. Like you said, I think the Nathaniel Wood fight was impressive. He got a win over Jamie Malarkey, who was up and coming at the time. So therefore, I definitely think Naimov has the skill set to get this fight done. If I bet a prop on this one, I think it's going to be under 2.5 rounds. But my official prediction for this fight is Naimov to win. All right,
I like that
next.
under 2.5. The more you talk about that under 2.5, I like that thought actually.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I don't think it goes to decision there, which is obviously exciting for us as viewers. But certainly is something that I think Naimov is very capable of there. All right, next fight, Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. Kelvin Gastelum is currently a minus 245. Daniel Rodriguez is plus 200. What are your thoughts?
Man, I used to be a big Kelvin fan, really huge time Kelvin fan. I mean, the time where he gave Izzy a run for his money in that fight, that was a great fight. Even though he lost, that's a good loss. You know what I mean? There's bad losses, good losses. Daniel Rodriguez has two L's in a row. I mean, Neil Magny and Ian Gary. Ian Gary's a great loss to have. I don't know, man. I want to say Kelvin. I mean, he does have a reach disadvantage in this fight. Daniel is bigger. Not by much, but he's bigger. I would love to see Kelvin win this one. I'm just worried that Rodriguez can do enough on the feet to kind of keep Kelvin stalled out and not let Kelvin get off because Kelvin's got a reach disadvantage. Kelvin might have the speed advantage. He is very quick on the feet. I don't think either of them are really willing to take it to the ground that much. I think Rodriguez is confident enough that he can stand and bang with Kelvin, but I don't know, man. I might have to go with. I think I'm going to go with Rodriguez by decision. I want to go with Kelvin, but I don't have enough trust in Kelvin to fight the way that I hoped that he would, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I certainly could see a world where it plays out in that sense. However, for me in this fight, I definitely think Kelvin's going to be able to hold his own on the feet. I think that they're actually pretty evenly matched up on the feet. However, Kelvin has the wrestling advantage against Daniel Rodriguez, and I think that come round two and round three, there's going to be some takedowns that come into play that Kelvin is really going to be able to score off of and capitalize on. So therefore, my pick for this fight is Kelvin by decision as well. Um, for it's going to decision. I think we both can agree to that. However, I
That's right.
definitely think with Kelvin's ability to sometimes be a really good striker on his feet, and then with his ability to wrestle, it's certainly going to give Daniel Rodriguez some problems there, in my opinion. So therefore, Kelvin by decision. I actually don't love this fight a lot from a betting
No.
perspective. I think it's dangerous, especially with the odds. I mean, if you are on the Rodriguez side, especially with his money line odds being plus 200. I don't think he's going to get Kelvin Gastelum out of there. The decision might be a good prop to play just based off the odds itself. But if you're on Gastelum's side, maybe have him in a parlay, maybe stay away from it. But from a overall prediction standpoint, that's going to be mine.
Yeah, this is probably another fight on the card. I'd probably not gonna bet on. It's just too close, man. Too close on the feet.
All right. Next up, the co-main event. We got the big boys in the house. Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. JP, I'll let you take this one first. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I do not like Volkov. I'm a Volkov hater. Okay, you can throw me in that basket, brother. I think Volkov is cheeks. I think he's ass. He's big. I mean, he should be better in my book than he is with how big he is, his legs, his reach. But he's not. Pavlovich, stone cold killer. Dude's huge. He's a mountain. He just lost to Tom Aspinall, who's a phenomenal loss to have in the UFC heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall, my book, gonna beat John Jones. Whoa, we won't go there yet, brother. But I mean, Pavlovich is just a beast everywhere. Beat Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades fighting Tom Aspinall. I mean, Taito Ivasa, Derek Lewis. I mean, just the lineup of names that he's beaten so far. I think he's gonna beat Volkov. How? I think he's gonna clip Volkov. I mean, the big boys, so under 2.5 is never a bad bet. But I think he's clipping Volkov. I think he's putting him out. KO, TKO, Pavlovich all the way.
That's fair. I feel like you're thinking like the majority of bettors out there, which sometimes is fun and sometimes it gets you in a little bit of trouble.
Volkov is ass, brother. Ass.
I'm a big fan of Alexander Volkov. He has the size to give a lot of people problems. I mean, Sergey Pavlovich, yeah, he has a lot of power, but has he faced a guy of the pure size of Alexander Volkov? Not to this point in his career. I think Alexander Volkov definitely has the experience advantage. I mean, he's been in the cage with some absolute killers, and especially with like the Fabricio Verdums, the Roy Nelsons. I mean, the list goes
Roy
on and on.
Nelson
The big
throwing it
country,
back.
big
Big
country.
country, brother.
One of my favorites, Cyril Gahn. I mean, there in Tom Aspinall as well. And I think if you go back and watch a Tom Aspinall fight, that'll kind of give you the breakdown that you may need to think the way I'm thinking. Volkov looked to be able to hold his own on the feet, just like he's been able to look to hold his own on the feet with Derek Lewis and many others. Yeah, Derek Lewis caught him with 10 seconds left to go in the fight. Big whoop. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think it was fluky, and he would have won that fight by decision. He's been able to take very big shots in the past, and he has a chin. He really truly does have a chin. I think that's going to cause Pavlovich to have to go into some deep waters, which in the UFC, Sergey's never been there before. He hasn't. And if you go hear
Yeah.
Volkov talk about the Tom Aspinall fight, that was his game plan against Tom Aspinall. Let's take him into deep waters, force him to get a little bit tired, and then we're going to really be technical and score against him. And I think that's what Volkov is good at. He has a great lead leg kick. He throws it to the body, throws it to the leg, and throws it to the head. And I think that if Sergey sits there at a distance, at a good range, Volkov's going to be able to piece him apart and score a lot of points. Therefore, I am taking Volkov by decision to give Sergey Pavlovich his first decision loss in the UFC. I think he holds his own. Volkov's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's going to be able to hold his own on the ground. If the fight goes on the ground, I think that's more trouble for Pavlovich than anybody else, which Pavlovich, like I said, has not been out of the first round. So therefore, what happens if he gasses? What happens if he's tired? And Volkov has been there many, many times. I think the experience factor comes into play. I love Volkov here in this position, especially with the hype around the polar bear Pavlovich. I get it, but at the same time, I think if he survives round one, this fight is a completely different fight. I may put Pavlovich first round KO in some of my bets. However, if it escapes that first round, Volkov could potentially give Pavlovich some problems, and I think this fight goes to decision with Volkov being the victor.
I will say, recently, Volkov's last three fights, I mean, his most recent one was what, tie to
So,
Ivasa or something?
by Ezekiel choke.
Yeah, he has looked good in his last three fights versus in the past how he's looked in the UFC. He looks like he's hit his stride a little bit, but don't matter. Boy's getting clipped by the polar bear. All right, mink, minking him up. First round KO. Get him out of here.
All right. And for the main event of the evening, we have Robert Whittaker versus Krom Aliskerov. I know this was a last second fight for Ikram. Robert Whittaker was preparing for Hamzat for a long while, and obviously things didn't go the way that we expected them to
Heartbreak.
go. So,
Fucking heartbreak, man. Hate it.
what are your thoughts on how this fight's going to play out here?
I mean, I like Rob. I like Rob a lot. As a dude, I mean, just the guy that he is, it makes me like him a lot more. But when I think of this fight and their matchups, I think of the Duplessis fight that Rob just had. I really do not see it going any differently. I mean, he's 6 foot, Rob's 6 foot. He's got a 76-inch reach versus Rob's 73. He's the same style, OV, EV. They're going to come at you the whole fight. You can stuff 8 takedowns. They're going to get you the ninth, choke you out with the ninth takedown, bro. I mean, it's just so hard with the pressure that these guys have. They never get tired. Rob is quick and bouncy, light on his feet, likes to pop in and out. I just, based off of what Drekis could do to Rob, I see Ikram doing the exact same thing. I think it goes to decision because I think Rob's tough. I think Rob can hang in there. I think Ikram by decision. Dog money, big call there. I'm prop betting it. I'm money line betting it. Whatever it is, dog money, Ikram by decision.
Yeah, that's interesting that you bring up the Robert Whittaker versus Driskius Duplessis fight because that's exactly where my mind goes thinking about Robert Whittaker and how he's been as of late. I mean, looking at the record, like Paulo Costa, it's just not impressive. It really just not is impressive to me. I think Robert Whittaker looks like he's lost a step, which is troublesome in the fight game. It truly is. Um, where once upon a time he looked impenetrable, pause, looked like he really was going to be able to hold his own against anybody that you put him out there against, and then all of a sudden he starts to look a little worn, a little slow, a little old in the Driscus Duplessis fight, which gives me a lot of worry for him. So for that reason, I have Ikram winning this fight as well. I definitely think we have a great dog position here and great value in this fight. Whitaker's the fan favorite. A lot of people aren't going to know who Aliskerov is or what he's capable of. Yeah, he doesn't have really anything to base this pick off of. But like you said, the pressure is going to be there, the wrestling is going to be there, the power is going to be there, and I truly think that Ikram gets the better of Robert Whitaker and probably sends him to a different place in his career, whether that be way down in the rankings or possibly thinking about retirement. I mean, don't quote me on it, but Robert Whitaker just does not look the same, and I think Ikram is hungry, and he's going to come in there and really dominate Robert Whitaker.
I mean, he's 33. I wouldn't be shocked if he loses this fight, retires. You know, it's a realistic situation, man. Especially because what is Ikram ranked? What is he, 17? Yeah, 4 loses 17. I just don't see how he wins. Yep. Close one, though. Dog money, baby.
Dog money.
Dog money.
I'm excited for it. Now let's move into one of my favorite parts of what this show is going to entail for you guys, and that's the show parlays. I'm super stoked to give you guys some parlays. Obviously, if you want to tail along and bet them with us, that would be awesome. We'll come back next week and see how we do. So first things first, let's pass it over to JP for JP's juicer parlay. What do you got for us, man?
Juicer. Juice 'em. Also, let us know in the comments. JP's Juicy Parlays, the juicers, what do you want to do? What sounds best? But what we're going for this week is we're putting Dumas. Okay, he's just added to the card. Tululan ass. Get him out of here. Dumas, first leg. Godzilla. No. Got a name like Godzilla? Put him in there. Fakhretdinov, straight killer. Put him in there. OVEV, Shara Magomedov, Shara one-eyed OVEV Magomedov. Throw him in there. Aliskerov, dog money, main event. Parlays hitting. Main event, you're excited, you're sweating it out. Boom, dog money, huge. 5 legs, degenerate. Just sprinkle. You don't throw the mortgage on it. Just sprinkle, Don't let the wife know you did it. It's a silent thing. Silent degenerate parlays, the juicers, brother. Okay, that's what we're running with. Giving it to them.
What does that get us to? Did you calculate that?
Yeah, let me do it live. Let me do it live right here, brother, in person. All right, we're doing a Aliskerov. Where are we at? Where's my guy? Shara Magomedov. Renat. Godzilla. Dumas. Sitting at plus 768. Not terrible. Okay?
Plus 768.
Not unheard of. Not unheard of. I'm telling you right now, Shara, Renat, Dumas, Magomedov is who we think he is. Easy hit. We're in the main event. Parlay's looking good. We're letting it ride, brother. Let's
There
do
we
it.
go. There we go. You guys heard it first. Plus 768. JP's Juicer, his first ever juicy parlay. We've got
1
plus
for 1, baby.
768.
1
Let's
for
see how
1.
that one plays out. Let's see how that one plays out. And now we've got Brevin's basic parlay, trying to get you guys close to even money. Hopefully some plus money there. We're going to dial it up right now. First fight being Renat Fakhretdinov, Doorknob, Nasrat Topcrossed, and Shara Magomedov. Those 3 is going to get you to plus 164 for Brev's basic
Come on,
parlay.
dude. There's no way that's not hidden. I mean, you might as well call that the lock, brother. That's fucking... Holy cow.
And now for the show special. Locked Door MMA's Lock of the Night.
Lock 'em
JP,
up. Lock 'em up.
what is your pick for the Lock of the Night, baby?
I mean, at this point, everybody's made it this far in the show. We know who I'm going with. OVEV, one-eyed killer, stone cold assassin. We're putting Shara in there, brother. No way Shara's losing. Lock it up.
There we go. Shara for JP's pick. And my pick is Renat Fakhretdinov. OVEV, baby. We got a couple OVs right there. Lock doors, lock of the night. That's going to get us to minus 114 for the odds there. Let us know how you guys think we're doing on our picks. Leave comments. Go ahead, like the video. Subscribe to the channel for content every single week that there's a UFC card. We love this guy. We love this stuff, guys. We truly do. And we want to bring you more and more content as we continue to get into it. And just build this community. I want us to become a community here on Locked Door MMA. And really, lean on each other and share our experiences and love for the sport with one another. So that is the goal
100%.
of this channel and this show.
100%. Also, I don't want to hear nothing in the comments with dog shit mic setup, okay? We got dog shit lighting, dog shit mic, Amazon's dog shit, all right? Blame Amazon. Next week, we'll be set up. We'll be straight. Let me know what you guys want to see right here. I'm going to put big old Raiders sticker. But if we want to see something else, we want to see a fat head of Brevin right there, we can smack it on there, brother. Do the L's and the W's, whatever it is, however we're feeling on the day. But I'm excited, man. This is good. Like Brevin said, we're excited. We love doing this. Finally got out to do it. Let's make some money, baby. Let's make some money. Brevin, anything else?
That's it for me, man. I'm super excited for
Nothing
this
else?
card. So let's see how it goes. See how our first show goes.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all later. Bingo, bango, baby! Peace!